Hello?
Hello, this is Sergeant Warren with the Kettering Police Department.
Hello? Hi, how are you?
Hi, I was returning your call, but I did not understand your name on the message. I apologize for that.
Oh, it's okay. My name is Candace
Okay,
Hargrove.
okay. How can I help you?
I was calling, about some things that happened, and I've been scared to call you for a long time because of retaliation. And, anyways, I was inquiring about, when, do detectives ever do home wellness checks? Well, I had two detectives come into my home when I was at work and search my house with my 13-year-old son there by himself. This was it was a long time ago, but I've still been in a situation and I've been scared to report anybody. I've been really, really scared. It was Holly, Marshland. It was April, May, I believe, May of 2018. And then, it was Detective Holly Marshland, and I know that she retired or something. And then there was another officer. I wasn't ready for you to call me, but another detective that came with her. And I guess they got a call that my 3-year-old or something was in danger, and my son answered the door with his girlfriend, and they didn't identify themselves. They flashed, they showed their gun and badge, like intimidating him. Didn't tell him their name. They were in street clothes and an SUV, a regular SUV, and he thought it was children's service or something. And they said, he told him, everything's fine, I'm fine. And they're like, where's your mom? And he said, she's at work. And they're like, where's your 3-year-old brother? And he said, he's at the sitter, my mom's at work. And they said, well, do you mind if we come in and search the house looking for your brother to make sure you're telling us the truth? And so my son let him search my entire house, And I made a police report. This was Detective Mason. Detective Vincent Mason, I made a police report in regards to my an issue with my company, and then he said he would do. And the officers, they were just being mean to me. Every single one of the officers that came out. And then finally, I went to the FBI and I met with Special Agent Carl North. And Carl North told me to go back and to tell your PD that I had talked to him and that they're to get, accept my devices and everything and get it up to the BCI team. I got the chain, and so then Holly Marshall and Detective Mason come into my home, and they get everything. 7 weeks later, Detective Mason calls me and tells me that I had lied about my new address, which was not true because Mark Stefano is one of my really good friends, and I've known him forever. And he was at my apartment on duty, just saying hey a couple times. So he knew exactly where I was. And so Mark's like, Candace, I found you just fine. And I said, yeah, I know. So then Detective Mason tells me, hold on, Christian. Detective Mason tells me that he calls me about 7 weeks later after coming to get my devices. And he says, Ms. Hargrove, I'm concerned about your boy's safety, or quite frankly, your mental state of mind and all this. And I said, really? He goes, and honestly, I've been wanting to tell you this. He said, my 13-year-old, when he took him outside of my house, my 13-year-old told him that he was the one doing, all the hacking and everything to my stuff, and that wasn't my company, my boss, stalking me. It was him. And my son, it's not true. He took my son outside and asked me if there was any naked pictures on his phone of girlfriends. And my son said, yes, two. My son's really quiet, and he said, okay, that's all I need to know. You're not going to get in trouble for it. Just don't do it, anymore again. So Detective Mason lies and says, and the FBI told me it's over 21 felonies. I know my son was 13 years old, and I don't know how that works. And I told Detective Mason, I said, you're messing with the wrong mom. I said, my son most definitely did not tell you that. And he said, well, your son couldn't tell you because he's so afraid you're stressed out and all that. And, and then he said, he said there was no crimes committed. He didn't even do an investigation. He called my work, and they said, nope, that's not happening, and he hung up. And he was supposed to, do as much as he could on, and bump it up to Montgomery County, and then bump it up to BCI. Then, this is really bizarre. I ended up losing my kids. And Detective Mason and Holly Marshland was pushing and pushing and pushing for CPS to take my kids. I have not seen my 16-year-old in 26 months. My 5-year, he's now 6, is home. He's been home since September. He was put in a foster home where he was being physically and sexually abused, thrown down steps, and sodomized every night in the bathroom while everybody was asleep. And that's what I'm picking up right now. And this is directly because of your officers. And, you know, and I was telling the truth, you know, and then this is really bizarre. So I called BCI myself because this is what Agent North told me to do. And I call, and then my phone rings, you know, back a little bit later, and the guy says his name is John Rodriguez. And there is a BCI agent by the name of John Rodriguez. But the guy's, you know, I've been talking to this guy, you know, on and off for about 2.5 years. And he, come to find out, and Detective Mason was the one who put him in place, and come to find out, he's not even BCI. He's a guy posing as a BCI agent, because I did a reverse search on his phone number, and I have his name is John Gio, G-H-I-O. And so a fake BCI agent was put in place to stop anything traveling up the chain of command to the FBI, to the BCI team, by Detective Mason.
Stand there while I go to the bathroom. Mom, can you stand by the kitchen while I go to the bathroom?
I mean, my life has been destroyed. My boys' lives have been destroyed. You know, and you know, I did report him to the mayor's office. I reported it, you guys. I went all the way to the chain of command to the sergeant.
Can you stand right here?
Yes, I went all the way to captain or whatever in your PD. Nobody would do anything to help me with Detective Mason, so I reported him to the mayor, Don Patterson. He wouldn't do anything. Then I reported him up to the governor. You know, and nobody's done anything, and I was scared. You know, internal affairs is honestly a little shady in my opinion because I don't understand exactly how it works. But those guys are, you know, I was scared. I've been scared, you know, to contact you this entire. I've been scared to death because this man. I don't live it. I mean, I had to leave Kettering, my home. You know, I love Kettering, and I lived in Kettering since I was graduated from college, and I graduated in 2001. And I've lived in Kettering since, I believe, 2001, 2002. And I love Kettering. And I left Kettering. And I would never live in Kettering again. My son had to leave his high school. Like, you don't understand. I've been run out of my home because of your police officers. And Mark Stefano, like I said, he's a really good friend of mine. And he will vouch. You know, so then you know, my son goes, okay, my son's father flew in on a Friday. This is like October the 17th of 2018 from Oklahoma. Him and his wife. They were in a hotel, and my son was visiting my mother and my stepfather, who I have no relationship with my mom because of my stepdad hitting her and everything, and him being part of all this. Well, Andy and Missy are already in a hotel. They're already in Ohio. My son starts calling me all day on Friday, all into Friday night, all day on Saturday, asking me if he could go stay with his dad for a couple weeks. And I said 3 weeks until I got a new place. And and then, you know, I had told my mom and my stepdad on speaker with no witness, and I recorded everything. And, you know, and I told him, I said, no, Sebastian cannot go out there because his dad legally kidnapped him for a year. My case went to the Supreme Court, and I won at the Supreme Court. And he came home. I said, if I don't know Andy's phone number, if he does not call me, I'm not relating information between our 13-year-old child. It's about temporary custody, absolutely, and he cannot go unless we have something in place, legally in place. Well, Sebastian's calling me, and they were sitting there recording me, and I finally said, "You want to go? Go." You know, I didn't say when you could go, or you could leave today, or, you know, go fly across the country, across 5 states without hugging and kissing him. Goodbye. There's no way. So I report, you know, kidnapping by his dad, and you know, whatever, assisting with it for my stepdad. I reported it to who was it? Officer Pullen, and I sent him my Supreme Court case. I sent him my custody papers, and he says, "Well, Candace, he's 13." He said it's more interference of custody. So he and I talked forever, and I'm explaining everything to him. And he says, you know, and then he calls Andy and Stan, and they said, no, I knew about it. And he charged me with falsification of a police report and false alarm. So I was literally walking into the gas station to get a money order and meet this manager to sign a lease that in my new place, and I get arrested walking into the gas station for falsification of false alarm of a police report, and I most definitely did not. So then I had to fight that. I had $1,700 on me. I had to pay $500 to get out of your jail. And then I lost my home. I didn't have money to get a home. Then what's happened to me and my children and on you guys' watch is absolutely horrifying. My little boy has literally been raped. He was 4 or 5. So that's what I'm dealing with now, putting all the pieces together, and my life fell apart when I asked for Kettering Police Department to help me in a home I've lived in for 20 years in that city. So I thought, there's a lot of information, I know, but, as soon as some things tie up on my end, I'll do whatever I need to do, because, like I said, who's gonna, you can't make this okay.
Enjoy bonus cash right now at Riley's Furniture during the semi-annual event. Get up to 20%.
I'm not asking you to solve it. My son's home now. I'm calling you to report police misconduct. Do I need to report it to the FBI? Who do I report it to? I thought I reported it to you. So she was allowed. So there was another detective. Go ahead. They never. The thing of it is nobody ever got back with me. Okay, well, who can you look that up and verify this? Will you please verify? Well, when I reported Detective Mason, and I ended up getting a falsification charge. All right, it isn't. Was it Holly? Was Holly Mershland and the other detective allowed to search my home without me there? Were they allowed to search it? Okay. Well, I understand that, but my son was at the babysitter's house. I was at work. Okay, well, I guess, all right. I just thought I would, call you and see what you had to say about it. It's terrifying. I'm sorry? Yeah, I guess nobody on your police force did anything wrong. Thank you so much for letting me know. Bye-bye.